That means he's got 3 years, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now I saw him as an athlete. Now he also was a great.
But his freshman year, he actually played in all 13 games. He caught 15 passes for 170 yards, and actually against Arkansas had 3 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. So this guy's actually.
So he's been there and done that. Is that right?
Proven he can play in the SEC, but that is a huge target at 6'5", 200 pounds.
Yeah. Well, and then we mentioned earlier, Mike.
He might step right in for Damian Willis.
Well, we also mentioned the kid out of Fairburn, Georgia, Mike Cayley McLean, 6'5", 225 wide receiver. So that's another big receiver. And he went to a junior college. So these are 2 kids that played at junior college that are ready to go. Don't you agree?
Yeah, this guy's senior year at Blount, he caught 50 passes for 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns.
Oh, man. So that means he's got 3.
This guy's the real deal.
And he's got 3 years. Is that right?
No, this guy's only got 2 years. He played 1 at Mississippi State, and
okay.
And he got redshirted 1 year, and then he played in junior college.
Yeah.
So.
All right, give us some figures on this guy here. Jamontez Woods, 5'11", 215 running back from Gadsden City High School in Gadsden, Alabama.
Yeah, I was looking at him yesterday. His numbers don't really jump out at you. You know, senior year he rushed for almost 900 yards and 10 touchdowns. And then his junior year he rushed for about 850 yards and 8 touchdowns. But they must see something in him they like. You know, Gaston City has really been down the last couple of years, and you know really hadn't had very good teams. It might be a B.J. Smith situation when he was at Stanhope that you know didn't really have a good offensive line, but they saw something, so they might have saw something in this kid. If you go on TroyTrojans.com, you can read about every single one of these players, and then they also have highlight videos. You can actually watch film.
Oh man, isn't that something? Now, back to this quarterback out of Jacksonville, Florida. First of all, Jacksonville, Florida is a haven for great football players. And, you know, you start at Bowles High School and go around. It's always great players out here. And something that impressed me about this guy, of course, they rated him the top 60 quarterbacks in the country. You know, there are a lot of quarterbacks in the country. How many would you say? 2 or 3 or 4 or 5,000 quarterbacks in the country?
Probably.
Maybe more than that. And he's rated number 6 in the top 60, so he must be pretty good. And he must be a kid that they expect could come in and help them right away. And
you would think this kid will redshirt. They got so many quarterbacks. It's crazy.
That's right. And Barker, of course, hopefully will be back ready. He had the type surgery he had was the ACL, so you don't come back so quick from an ACL injury. Is that right?
Well, it's, everybody's different. Some guys are, 5 months. Some guys are 7 or 8.
Want to mention you Auburn Tigers out there, and
is that all the Troy's commits?
Well, that's ones I've got. I called out some earlier. One kid, the Barkley kid.
They got 16 guys. That's what they recruited.
Yeah. An early afternoon signing by 6'4" wide receiver Cayley McLean from Hutchinson Community College in Kansas was the cherry on the top. McLean is the 5th rated junior college wide receiver in the country, Mike. That's a lot of wide receivers. And he's the 5th rated wide receiver in the country, and we get him. He started his college career as a quarterback. Listen to this. As a quarterback at Tulane. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did read that.
In addition, McLean, Troy added receivers Donovan Curry and Reggie Todd, who was a starter at Mississippi State, like you said, Mike, in 2017. They also added 3-star running back Jamontez Woods from Gadsden City, who is rated as a top 100 running backs in the country. Well, there are a lot of running backs in the country, so if he's in the top 100, he's pretty good, don't you think?
Well, I mean, they're saying this class is ranked 72 overall in the country, and then
that's out of about 130
or 140. Got to be one of the best classes Troy's ever had. Louisiana Lafayette has the top class out of the Sun Belt this year. So Billy Napier's, really doing a really good job on the field coaching, and he's doing a really good job recruiting.
Well, another thing about Troy, no question that they are going to need wide receivers because they lose their top 3 wide receivers to graduation, don't they?
Yeah, they lose Willis, DeAndre Douglas, and Sidney Davis.
Yeah. This other kid, this Curry kid, 5'11", 165 wide receiver out of Mount Airy, Georgia, Hammershine Central, must be a specialist type guy too that can run.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. If you look at Troy's recruits, they have a lot of height.
That's good, yeah.
Some of the taller guys you'll ever see. But, Neil Brown was in a tough situation. He's basically having to do, the recruiting, and they were set up down in the hotel down there at the Renaissance. So, it was kind of a unique situation.
That's where they did it. You're right. That's where they did it. They did it from the hotel. Let me tell you something. This recruiting coordinator, Mike, is a sharp young man.
Yeah, he was talking about him, Brian Bennett.
Yeah, he is sharp as he can be, and they just love him, and he gets to know these kids. He sets up, phone calls with them, and really has a very good attitude toward the way he recruits, too. He recruits quality people.
Of course, a lot of people are saying Alabama's recruiting class may be the best ever under Saban, which is hard to believe considering they've been number 1 so many times. But, Alabama just got, great players from all over the country and got 2 great players out of IMG, the top offensive tackle in the country. A guy named Neal that's 6'8", listen to this, 6'8", 370 pounds.
Oh, boy.
And then they got Sanders, the running back, who's also the top running back in the country. So Alabama had a huge day. Of course, they got Tagovailoa. They got Paul Tyson, Bear Bryant's great-grandson.
But the bad thing about it, they're going to have to play him somewhere where he's good enough or not. Hey, can you see him not playing Coach Bryant's grandson?
I think you'll definitely see him. With a possibility of playing maybe around his junior year, maybe.
Yeah. Want to mention a few other guys on Alabama's list. They got a tight end out of Chicago, Phillips Academy. But we don't. He's 216, sort of small for a tight end. They got a big offensive lineman out of Glasgow, Kentucky. Just look at how they recruit. They got a defensive lineman, 6'4", 285 out of Colonia, New Jersey. They got a battle kid, a defensive back out of Fort Lauderdale, St. Thomas Aquinas. That's a pretty good program. They got a tight end out of Chicago, Phillips Academy. They got a offensive lineman out of Glasgow, Kentucky. What I'm saying is, look where these guys are. They're all over the country. They got a defensive back out of Mansville, Texas. They got listen to this. They got an offensive lineman, 6'3", 290 out of Baltimore, Maryland, St. Francis High School.
They're doing a really good job getting players out of Baltimore. Of course, Loxley has helped that a lot. Now, he's going to be the Maryland head coach, so I don't know if he'll get this many guys after this.
He might not. How about this? They got DJ Dale, ladies and gentlemen, out of Pinson, Alabama. Everybody talks about this guy. They said he was unblockable.
He played at Clay Chalkville, though.
Yeah, Pinson, Alabama, Clay Chalkville, 6'3", 323. You know who coached him, don't you?
Yep, Adam Helms.
Adam Helms from right here in Troy coached this guy, and they say he was unblockable. Have you ever heard anybody get that kind of label? That means that's right. Troy had a guy that was, and you notice that he's already been named to several All-Star teams. What's the kid's name at Troy? It's so good.
You're talking about Sanders?
Yes, Sanders, the kid at Troy, is this kid right down his alley where it takes 2 men to block him, and a lot of times they can't even do it. So this guy's a big-time recruit out of right here in Clay Chalkville High School. Then they go to Forest Park and get a big linebacker. He's a big one, too, 6'5", 263 out of Forest Park. Then they go to Baton Rouge. Now, how many different places have we gone already? They go to Baton Rouge right there underneath the breath of LSU, and they get this guy, Christian Harris, 6'2", 240, a linebacker out of Baton Rouge University Lab School. That was right there on their campus.
That's where Dylan Moses came from. from.
Yeah.
Starting linebacker now.
And that makes a lot of difference. Kevin Harris, the second, came out of Loganville. Boy, there's a lot of players come out of Loganville and Grayson, Georgia. DeMarco Halams, these are Alabama recruits, ladies and gentlemen, out of Hyattsville, Maryland. DeMatha High School. I mean, look where they're recruiting. Braylon Ingraham, 6'4", 260, defensive lineman out of Fort Lauderdale. Listen to this, St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the top programs in the country. Mary Knight, 6'7", 307, offensive lineman out of Alabaster. That's the big lineman from Thompson, Mike, that was so good.
You know, I hated yesterday. Bird, the really good running back off Thompson, was down to Troy, Vanderbilt, in Iowa, and he didn't want to stay close to home. He ended up going to Iowa.
Oh boy.
That Thompson running back was really good. If you ever watched him this year.
Yeah. John Matchey, 6'1", 195, wide receiver out of New Jersey. They come from all over the world at Alabama.
Well, I mean, they've won 5 out of the last 9 national championships.
I know it, and it comes from Petty Beach High School in Hyattsville, Hightstown, New Jersey. King, this guy's named King Mawaka. I don't know. He's 6'5", 240, a linebacker out of West Point, Georgia, Troup County High School. That's right there in West Point, Georgia. That's right across the river from Auburn. Evan Neal, a 6'7", 360-pound offensive lineman. This guy you were talking about from Okeechobee, Florida. IMG Academy. Now, tell us about IMG Academy.
Oh, I mean, IMG Academy is basically where all the, 4- and 5-star players go to basically train and basically kind of get ready for their freshman year of college. It's kind of like a Hoover High School, but, a little bit, you're basically dealing with 4- and 5-stars. It's all just great.
They're coached by the former Florida State quarterback, aren't they?
Yeah, he's not there anymore. Chris Winkie now coaches running backs in Tennessee under Pruitt.
Okay. All right.
IMG, they played Hoover this year, and I think they beat them 52-7.
Oh, God.
Close.
But it is a factory. It's a factory where they send them.
It's like,
And they can play an additional year of high school football, can't they? Is that right?
Yeah, I want to say that's the case. I'm not 100% sure, but...
Your brother-in-law went to Macaulay. Couldn't a kid that went to Macaulay have an extra year?
I don't know. That's a boarding school. I don't know the situation there.
Yeah.
This will be kind of more considered like a prep school, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right. 6'7", 360, one of the top linemen in the country. Pierce Quick, there's another 6'5", 285-pound offensive lineman. He's a kid out of Trustful. His quarterback is coming to Alabama, and so is he. Is that right?
Well, yeah, he's a 5-star.
Oh, he is? This Quick kid is?
Yeah.
All right, Will Richard, a 6'1". Listen to this. This is what's big, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe the biggest recruit of all at Alabama is this guy. Will Richard, I reckon that's how he pronounces his name. 6'1", 185, a kicker.
That's Will Reichert. He's the kicker out of Hoover.
All right, Reichert. He's a kicker out of Hoover. That's supposed to be the best in the country. Is that right?
That's what they say.
And they have needed a guy like this, that is a dominant kicker. Then I don't even know how to pronounce the name. I know you do. Quarterback from Alabaster.
Tallulah.
5'11", 203 out of Alabaster, Thompson High School. Brandon Turnage, a 6'1", 185-pound defensive back out of Oxford, Mississippi. Lafayette High School, right out from under Ole Miss there. And then finally, Paul Tyson, the great-grandson of Paul William Bryant, used to coach at the University of Alabama, if you'll remember. 6'5", 217, a quarterback out of Trustful, Hewitt Trustful High School, Paul Tyson. Can he compete, Mike?
Well, he's definitely a pro-style quarterback. He's a guy that, a big arm. He's 6'5", probably 230 pounds. He's definitely got the tools. It's just a matter of athletically, how, it'll translate to playing in the SEC. I think, he's the type guy you'll maybe hear from maybe around his junior year.
Yeah.
Of course, he'll have to beat out Tallulah. Because after next year, you know, Jalen Hurts is transferring. Tua will be a junior, so Tua will go to the NFL after his junior year. And then you still got Mac Jones. You know, he'll be in the mix as well with those guys. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Is it good that Alabama gets players from all over the country, or I mean, can they? Do they know what rivalries are and things like that?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, Saban says all the time, you know, that's one of the main reasons he didn't, you know, want to stay in the NFL with the Dolphins. He said, you know, when you're an NFL coach, you get one first-round pick every year. He said when you're in college, you can get about 10 or 15.
Malzahn thinks his recruiting at Auburn was top-notch, and we're going to run down their recruits real quick.
I'll do nationally what everybody's saying. Right now, Alabama's by far the number one in recruiting. Second is Georgia. Third is Texas A&M. Fourth is LSU. Fifth is Oregon. Man, Mario Cristobal. Of course, he was on Alabama staff,
and they got what everybody thinks is the top player in the country.
Yeah, so I mean, he's done a great job. Oklahoma was 6, Clemson was 7, Michigan was 8, Texas was 9th, Penn State was 10th, and Auburn was 11th.
You know, and that's a pretty, you know, that's among, you know, 10 pretty good programs, wouldn't you think?
Auburn had 1 5-star and let's see, 10 4-stars.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Alabama had 3 5-stars and 22 4-stars.
22 4-stars. Man, that is amazing.
That's crazy.
How many 3-stars did Auburn and Alabama have?
Alabama only had 1. Auburn had 6.
All right, and Troy had more than they've ever had. How many did they have?
Troy had 11 3-stars.
11 3-stars, ladies and gentlemen, and that's rated, you know, you 3-star, 4-star, 5-star.
In the country, but you know, it's not over yet. You know, they'll add more guys.
Oh, I know they will. And what happens now is that they go back. Troy goes back and has a shot at people that they couldn't, that are not going to Alabama and Auburn. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, Auburn has Kobe Wood, and I understand this now. A lot of Alabama kids and a lot of Georgia kids. Not like Alabama with these kids from all over the country. These are more local kids. Lawrenceville Georgia linebacker Kobe Wooden is one of the guys. Jalen Simpson, a 6 foot, 175-pound defense back out of Brunswick, Georgia. Ron Kelly is supposed to be a good one, 6'1", 205 out of Chesapeake, Virginia. They went up Virginia and got that. Tyler Fromm now, Mike, is he related to Fromm at Georgia?
I'm not sure. Is he out of Georgia?
Yeah, he's out of Warner Robins.
There might be some relationship.
6'5", 225. You know, there's not that many Fromms out there. Luke Deal, 6'5", 245 out of Greenwood, South Carolina. Bo Nix, this guy could be your quarterback as a pure freshman. Bo Nix, 6'2", 220 or 210 out of Pinson Valley High School of Birmingham. Won back-to-back 6A championships. That's saying a lot in my book.
Yeah, also says his dad's a pretty good coach.
You would think he'd be getting some opportunities, wouldn't you?
Well, you know, his dad, a lot of people don't realize, was the offense coordinator at Georgia Tech when Chan Gailey was there.
Yeah,
And also was offense coordinator at Miami at one time.
And what was his first name?
Patrick Nix.
Patrick Nix, yeah. All right, here we go. Justin Osborne, 6'4", 205-pound. Says offensive lineman out of Flower Mound, Texas, Marcus High School. Javarius Johnson, a 5'10", 170-pound wide receiver out of Trussville, Hewitt Trussville High School now. So this is one of the wide receivers that is not going Alabama's way.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, you know, his quarterback, Tyson, is going to Alabama, and also the big lineman is going to Alabama, and he has decided to go to Auburn, Javarius Johnson, the wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a tiny guy. He'll probably play the slot.
Yeah.
He can't weigh more than 165 pounds.
Well, and it says here 5'9", 170. He's probably a big play type guy, kick returner type guy, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he can run. I've seen him play.
Yeah. Zion Puckett, a 6 foot, 200-pound defensive back out of Griffin. Always good program over there. Let me tell you, any of these kids out of Georgia are players now. Georgia produces probably as many good players as anybody.
Well, Auburn's always done well in Georgia.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Then, you're right.
You know, they've got the great recruiter that's been there for so long. What is it, Ronnie Daniels?
No, you mean at Auburn?
Yeah.
No,
they're great recruiters. They're there forever.
Their great recruiter is.
I'm drawing blank. He coaches defensive line.
Yeah, he is good. Now they got a big offensive lineman out of LaGrange, 6'4", 325, Keandre Jones, out of Callaway High School in LaGrange. That's a good one. Linebacker Owen Pope out of Lawrenceville, another Georgia kid. Derek Hall, 6'4", 225, out of Gulfport, Mississippi, a linebacker. Nehemiah Pritchett, 6 foot 180, a defensive back out of Jackson High School in Jackson, Alabama, which is a good program. DJ Williams, 5'11", 205, out of Lake Placid, Florida, Sebring High School. Jared Handy, a big offensive lineman, 6'5", 280, out of Hattiesburg High School. He got him right out from under.
Rodney Gardner.
Rodney Gardner, yeah, no question.
Auburn's big time.
And finally, this kid, supposed to be quite a player, Deshaun Sheffield, 6'1", 180, a wide receiver out of Brunswick, Georgia, Federica Academy. So that gives you Auburn's now. Listen now, this is their...
Of course, a lot of, Auburn ran into a situation where a lot of, people didn't, I'm sure they're recruiting negatively against the Malzahn, that the coach wasn't going to be there, so that was probably tough for him as well.
Yeah. Auburn's no fool. I mean, they're not going to throw away that kind of money, I don't think, that it would have taken to have got him out of there. And he still can, I still, he's a very confident guy, and I think he had a good recruiting year and got a lot of kids out of Georgia, Mike, kids that can play.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids.
Notice Troy gets a lot of them out of Georgia, too.
Yeah, one of the top players in state out of Jackson Hole, and Bontan Bentley went to Clemson. He's a linebacker out of Jackson Hole, and these are guys that left the state.
Let us know some of that. Yeah.
Out of Saraland. Of course, Saraland had a great year, played in the championship game. He went to LSU. So these are guys that left the state. You also had the kid out of Central Phoenix City, the one that state championship, Peter Parrish, went to LSU as well.
Yeah, you mean the quarterback?
The quarterback, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
now he is.
McGill Tulin, the quarterback out of McGill Tulin, went to Memphis. Sheldon Lehman.
Yeah.
And these are other guys that just went out of state. Ray Thornton, another kid out of Central Phoenix City. Man, Clemson came in and got two really good players out of Alabama.
Yeah.
Defensive backs going to Clemson, play for Dabo Swinney.
And let me ask you this. How many people can go and sit down in front of Dabo Swinney and not want to sign with him? I mean, the guy has got that kind of charisma,
And then the number one prospect, we talked about him earlier in the week, Clay Webb, the kid out of Oxford High School, went to Georgia. So Kirby Smart went in and got him. Of course, a lot of people don't realize Oxford and Athens is only 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And then you had another kid out of Briarwood Christian, J.R. Tranrino, went to Vanderbilt. So there's a lot of kids, going to play out of state. And then you had the quarterback out of James Clements also that went to Vanderbilt. So.
Yeah, and of course James Clements is out of Huntsville, a big new school out of Huntsville, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think about Troy women's basketball team beating Ole Miss at Ole Miss yesterday?
Oh, that's huge. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it doesn't give a score here, but and then let's see here. Trojans will be back in action Saturday, December 29th, when they head to Jacksonville to play Jacksonville State.
I know Auburn got beat on the road last night. Their men's basketball team got beat by NC State, so that was an upset last night.
How bad was that, Mike? That surprises me.
Yeah, they got beat by 8 points on the road.
Yeah. Mike, it's something I'm concerned about.
That's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
Let me find out more about this women's basketball game. That's huge. They beat Ole Miss.
They did, and of course, the last time they played them, it was 96-92. That's what it says. The Rebels beat the Trojans a year ago, 96-93. but Troy comes back and beats them. Troy scored.
Wow, this is Troy's first win in women's basketball over at SEC school.
Well, that was huge. And
they blew them out, 71 to 54.
71 to 54. Troy goes to Ole Miss and beats them 71 to 54.
Win over an SEC opponent in 21 years.
In 21 years, and that is great. And of course, she's done a super job at Troy, and they're now 8-2.
They're 8-2.
Yeah, Mike, I'm concerned about the attendance at this ball game. You know, I know it's close to Christmas. But we're expecting a big turnout, hopefully, from the Mobile area. You know, there's a lot of Troy people in the Mobile area, and a lot of people will be going to the game to see a Troy team play a team from Buffalo, New York, with a big-time quarterback this team carries with them. And Mike, I think we need a big crowd for Troy people going down there, either going down and spending the night or going down and just turn around and coming back. Not a bad drive.
No,
6 o'clock kickoff.
Hopefully we'll have probably, you know, I would hope somewhere around 10,000 fans at least. We're going to be on the visiting side. They'll put Buffalo on the home side. Looks like.
In fact, I like the visiting side. It's the newer side. You know what I mean?
But it's one of those situations where I don't know. You know, it's one of those you don't know how much walk-up crowd you'll have, and of course, you got to think Buffalo is not going to bring a huge amount of fans. You know, I mean, I'd be shocked if they had more than 1,000 people. Now their marching band's going to be down there, so I don't know how many they march in their band. So
well, that MAC conference always have outstanding marching bands, no question. And then of course,
I was reading in the paper if they were going to be in Buffalo, it was going to be 30 degrees and snowing.
Yeah.
And the weather in Mobile is supposed to be 60 and sunny.
Yeah.
So.
Mike, Buffalo has the heaviest snowfall in America every year. Buffalo and the New York.
I think it's Buffalo and Syracuse.
Syracuse, have huge snowstorms year round. So the weather is sure not going to take its toll on this bunch. They're used to it.
I just hope that Troy can come out and start fast on offense. That's what my biggest concern is. We played so bad the last two games, and I think this Buffalo team can definitely score some points. So Troy's going to have to score somewhere in the, I would say, in the high 20s and the 30s to win the game.
Yeah. They're serving breakfast at Bird Drugs as we speak. I'm going to go by and get me a hot bowl of grits and bacon, Mike, this morning, and get some good hard toast with grape jelly or strawberry jelly. And let me just say this. It's a great place to eat and a great drugstore, and we appreciate it. Appreciate Joe Watson. Also, I want to mention my good friends at Dixieland Dental, located north of Dothan on Highway 231. Let me tell you, this is one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. Of course, Dr. Michael Precise, Dr. John Strength, Dr. Damon Strength, and Dr. Robert Precise make up one of the largest dental clinics in Alabama. Great people, and we appreciate them. They've been a strong supporter of our program for a long time. Wise Office Supply, and if it don't say Lyle or Lane Wise when it comes to office equipment and schools supplies or furniture for your office, you can't beat Wise Office Supply today.
Yeah, I saw where they became grandparents the other day.
I know it. I'm tickled they did become grandparents. And you're right. Congratulations to Lane and that family. Mike, tell us about what happened with Team USA and the responsibility they're taking now for Laurie Davenport's problems.
Well, I mean, of course, we talked about this yesterday, that the state board, basically came down unanimously, and she will no longer be able to play for Charles Anderson Hospital, so her career is over. Of course, she can still go play at Rutgers, and that's not going to be affected. But basically, it's just a situation. They mailed this check to her, and I guess her and one other girl that were still playing high school basketball, and the other girls were in college. So, unfortunately, she lost her eligibility, and Charles Anderson will have to try to win the state championship without her.
Yeah. And they are going to allow her to sit on the bench, but she cannot be in uniform. This is a tough thing to handle. And this young lady is a wonderful person. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen.
She's been on your show several times.
Great young person, and is just as unassuming as anybody I know, and is the same person, even though she's considered one of the top 5 players in the United States of America from right here in Troy. But at least they'll let her be a part of the team. They just won't let her dress, and but she can travel with the team and cheer them on from the bench and whatever. But I do hate it because it was not her fault. These people with the USA basketball program here should have known better than to offer a high school player money.
They send the money back. I wonder if they could send the money back to her now so she can have the $900.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
She lost her year of eligibility. She might as well have the money now.
She finished last season, of course, with 18 points. She's not a hog. She could score 50 points a game if she wanted to. And sometimes
they got so many good players.
Yeah, and the coach has to get on her sometimes for passing it off too much. She's the best shot blocker I've ever seen on a girls' team, and maybe on a boys' team. Mike, inside of 10 feet, you can forget it, buddy. She's going to slam it back your throat.
Yeah.
And she's going to be a very successful college player one day at Rutgers University. Of course, Rutgers' coach has won over 1,000 games, so you know what kind of program that is. I would have loved to have seen her, though. Hey, Mike, she would have made Troy a franchise player. Hey, I mean, what I'm saying, she could have taken Troy maybe to the Final Four. That's how good she was.
Well, you never know. I mean, hopefully she gets up there and gets adjusted and enjoys it. But, bless her heart, I mean, that's what I was talking about when she signed with Rutgers. You're playing for a legendary coach that's never won a national championship. She's won 1,000 games. She's been to the Final Four twice. But, man, you got Vic Schaefer that's got Mississippi State playing in the championship game every year.
That's right, yeah.
She also
Very good program.
had, an offer to go to Georgia. Of course, I would have loved for her to stay close to home so her family and, friends and other people could go watch her. But there's not many people that are going to go watch her up in Rutgers.
Yeah, no question about it. I want to mention that Charles Henderson and Pike County went at it, Mike, in a big...
I saw Pike County beat them.
Pike County beat them. And, of course, the coach at Charles Henderson's a longtime former coach at Pike County High School. Pike County Bulldogs win 45-41 over rival Charles Henderson. And I knew they had a good team. And guess who's their coach, Mike?
Their coach is Doug Holland.
Was it Doug, or is Doug the coach, or is his brother the coach?
Fred's the football coach.
I know, but I was thinking that Fred would also coach his own team.
Well, no, Doug's the basketball coach.
Okay, I got you. And now we want to remind you again that kickoff for the game on Friday is on Saturday. Excuse me, is 6:00 from Ladd's People's Stadium there in Mobile. Now, on Friday night, they have a giant Mardi Gras parade. Now, this is not just a parade for the bowl game, but it's a parade to kick off Mardi Gras in the Mobile area for the year. And there'll be 100,000 people probably at this parade on this parade route. Did you know that, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, they really bring in a ton of people. This is the first weekend of Mardi Gras, and let me tell you who's highlighting the big Mardi Gras parade, Mike. Can you guess?
Who's highlighting?
Yeah, what group is highlighting this great Mardi Gras parade?
Sound of the South?
The Sound of the South, the Troy University Marching Band. You're exactly right. The great Sound of the South Marching Band in its entirety. Now, don't you know those band kids will have a ball? There'll be parades all during the night, and of course the main parade will go right in front of the Renaissance Hotel where most of the Troy people are staying, and of course they've got the Battleground Hotel right down the street. It's going to be a beautiful environment, and of course if you get down there early on Friday, you can go to the Civic Center and hear Archie Manning, one of the all-time greats, do a presentation at the banquet, and I've already got tickets for that banquet. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Archie Manning was a great player at Ole Miss, but in the NFL, he always played on so many bad teams. He always played on a lot of bad things.
Oh, yeah, he played on New Orleans teams that were not good. What was the number he wore in the pros?
He wore number 8.
Wore number 8, and in college he wore number 18. You remember that?
You know, I was going to mention, and boy, Steve Savarese did Charles Henderson no favors whatsoever.
Yeah, Savarese. We need to write him some letters
about the Davenport situation.
Yeah.
And you know, I was worried about this happening. That, you know, she played in 4 games, so now they have forced Charles Henderson to forfeit those 4 wins.
That's right.
Against a team out of Georgia, Collins Hill, and another team out of Georgia named Holy Innocents in a Thanksgiving tournament. And they also will have to now lose the game against Luverne and Barber County.
Yeah.
So now Luverne will have a win against Charles Henderson and Barber
Yeah.
County, and these 2 teams out of Georgia. So now that drops Charles Henderson's record to 8-4 now.
8-4 or 9-4, whatever. You know, but you know, and they're going to be competitive. Now, let me tell you, they've got some kids that can
they
play.
They got a chance to go all the way.
This Jones kid is a great player, and like I said, you know, I've challenged everybody on free throws. I'll put her up against anybody the ladies Trojans have or the men's Trojans. The men's Trojans shooting free throws. I'll take the Jones girl over anybody they got. Can you believe that?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that.
She's a high school junior and is a outstanding basketball player. And then of course the other kid that's going to Air Force, Mike, she's a good one too.
Yeah, Soller.
Yeah, Soller. And let me just tell you, Coach Jones has built quite a program, and of course, you know, they won't be quite as good without Davenport, but they'll be very competitive, and it's going to be fun to watch them. Troy Cable will be there too. A lot of the games we've already done several basketball games, and we're going to continue to follow this girls' program.
What about Brock Kelly with the jab at the very end, the Charles Henderson principal?
What did he say?
Brock Kelly, she's still a part of the team. She'll still practice with the players and support them. We hope that she'll be able to accept the state championship trophy from Mr. Savarese at the end of the season.
Oh, yeah.
By Brock Kelly.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I like Brock Kelly, and you know.
Go receive that trophy, the state championship trophy.
Yeah.
If they win it all, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you this. Brock Kelly's a young.
He's the youngest principal I've ever seen.
That's right. He's a younger principal, but I tell you what, I like him. I like the way he thinks.
I mean, where's the superintendent involved in this? Isn't Lee Hicks supposed to be involved in this?
You're right.
Brad McCoy, the athletic director, is supposed to be involved in this.
And I don't think it should embarrass anybody fighting for this.
Will have to be involved in all this. I don't understand that.
Yeah. Well. Hopefully, there's been some strong support, and you know that they'll live
all the way back to the Prattville days. There could be bad blood with Savarese and Prattville days. You know, unfortunately, that goes back to Hicks and McCoy.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that's any bad blood, Mike. We don't know.
Well, you never know. You never know what might have happened back in the day when Prattville was winning all the state championships too.
I know it, and again, how can you if they. You know, this young lady is so quality.
A lot of people say if this would have been in a big-time school, at a 7A school like a Prattville, a Hoover High School, a Spain Park, a Vestavia, a Mountain Brook, that this girl would have been eligible.
Yeah.
It's a small-town Troy, Alabama, and they're
Well, and especially if they did not spend the money. Now, they went and spent the money and all that and everything, they might have a case, but from what I gather, they sent the money back.
I tell you what, if I was her, I'd try to go ahead and graduate early, just get out of Charles Henderson and go on up to Rutgers is what I would do.
Well, she's gonna be fine,
this girl actually has a chance to play in the WNBA one day.
Yeah, I know she does. She's
professional basketball. Where you make millions of dollars.
Yeah. Right now, Charles Henderson in girls basketball with a 9-4 record ranks number 1 in Class 5A, followed by Ramsey, Madison Academy, Central Tuscaloosa, and south side of Selma.
I'm sure Winona's always, got a great program here in Birmingham as well.
And you know what? They're not even listed. I can't believe they're not listed. But that's girls basketball, and I'll tell you right now, with Davenport, I don't believe there was a team anywhere in the state of Alabama that could beat Troy.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, I don't believe that. Yesterday, they were almost guaranteed to win the state championship.
Yeah, and I'm talking about it at 7A too. I think they beat the Hoovers and the Spain Parks and the McGill Tulans and the Austins and the Sparkmans and the Davidsons and the Hewitt Trustfulls and the Grissoms and the Foleys and the Auburns.
Yeah, there's always good teams up in Huntsville usually.
We are Trojans, one and all, ladies and gentlemen. I want to mention that in boys basketball, right now, Winona is the number one team. Well, they're the number one team in boys basketball. That's where I read it. Yeah, 15-2. Winona is in basketball, Mike. Of course, in Class 6A, Carver Montgomery is number one. In Class 7A, Mountain Brook with a 12-1 record, Mike, is number one, followed by Leah Montgomery, Hoover, Florence, Sparkman, Hewitt Trustful, Austin, James Clemens, Enterprise. That's Coach Harrelson, Mike. He's the youngest high school basketball coach in the state. He has his Enterprise Wildcats with 11-2 record.
You know, there's a reason Auburn lost the basketball game on the road last night against NC State. They had 25 turnovers.
Oh, gosh. They must have pressed them all over the court.
Yeah, I know.
Markel Johnson had career highs of 27 points with 5 3-pointers to lead North Carolina State to an upset win over number 7 Auburn, 78-71. You know, Auburn needs
North Carolina State is 9-1 though.
Yeah, and let me tell you this: these teams that have to go through a season undefeated, that puts a lot of pressure on them. You know, it doesn't count until when they get in the tournament. You know what I mean?
Of course, we want to mention Troy will have a huge game in basketball in Birmingham tomorrow night at Bartow Arena. They'll be playing UAB, coming off that huge victory over Western Carolina. So maybe Troy can beat UAB in basketball for the first time. They've lost 10 times. UAB have never actually won against UAB. So maybe tomorrow night's the night.
Yeah. A lot of high school basketball tournaments going on this time of year. And, of course, several of them in our area. And we'll be watching that closely. And we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more of Today in L.A. and Merry Christmas from the staff and the management of Troy Cable. And we appreciate them giving away turkeys on this show, compliments of Troy Cable.
Piggly Wiggly's local butchers are on site at both stores and will help you select the best cuts of meat and trim them to your liking. Our USDA Choice beef is the most consistently tender, juicy, and flavorful beef you can buy, all at cost plus 10%.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security makes it easy to stay aware and stay in control of your home wherever you are. User-friendly interface allows easy navigation for lights, locks thermostat, video, and garage doors. Never worry about leaving your garage door open or the front door unlocked. Your mobile app can send alerts to your phone for alarm and no alarm events. Know when your children arrive home from school with video response. Make sure your home is powered by Troy Cable Security for ultimate access, awareness, and protection.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, and of course brought to you by First Cahaba Bank, located on the corner of John Withington Drive and Publix Boulevard, and of course a beautiful bank they've established, and of course Grady Capps, good friend of mine, great bank, ladies and gentlemen, First Cahaba Bank, now with a brand new facility in Troy, Alabama. Of course, if you're watching on Facebook, go to Troy Cable, TC2, and pick us up on Facebook this morning. And I hope everybody's enjoying the holiday season. Troy University's already out, and they've had their graduation, and they'll be out until the third day, I think, of January. Most of the offices there will be closed. And, of course, all the schools locally are closed now for the holidays as we get ready for old Santa Claus right here in our town. And we mentioned to shop Troy this Christmas. And, of course, why go to Montgomery? Why go to Dothan to shop for your Christmas when you can shop right here in Troy and leave those tax dollars right here in Troy that will give us better community, more recreation, more good streets, and whatever that communities thrive on. The tax base is where they get most of their funding, and we appreciate them very much. Our city fathers that do so much to give us a great place to live in Troy, Alabama. Of course, a lot going on. Most of the shops in Troy will be open later in the day for your shopping convenience. And of course, Bird Drugs right now is serving breakfast like very few people. And of course, we're looking forward to running down there after the show and having some hot grits and some toast and eggs and bacon and grits. Gonna be a nice breakfast from our good friends at Bird Drugs. I want to mention all of our sponsors this morning, and we appreciate them so much. Of course, looking for a Ford car truck, they've got it at Pike County Ford on the bypass right here in Troy. And of course, if you go in and take a look at one of those fine vehicles, they'll give you one of these nice hats. Pike County Ford on the bypass right here in Troy under new management, and we appreciate them so very much being a part of our show. Of course, during this time of year, it's very important to think about others this time of year. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lady in Troy, Alabama, and that has just made a huge difference when it comes to serving our public and serving the needs of people that are less fortunate than we are. And there's a program here in Troy that I think it might be the best program of this type anywhere. And they call it a Turkey from Heaven. And Turkey from Heaven is a program that was started by a young lady a few years ago, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And because it's gotten so big, we need more and more people to support this program. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and that means it's also Turkeys from Heaven time in Troy. Turkeys from Heaven has become a Christmas tradition in Troy. Each year, several hundred families in need are remembered with the delivery of a traditional Christmas dinner by Turkeys from Heaven, a non-profit organization. And ladies and gentlemen, the people that are so involved in this program, we appreciate so much. It hits the ground running on Saturday. This year, more than 400 turkey dinners will be delivered on Saturday. As of yesterday, turkey donations were nearing the target number. However, if the number is surpassed, the $15 turkey donations will go toward the purchase of other items to complete the dinners, including the bean casseroles, the cranberry sauce, and the wonderful trimmings that go with a turkey dinner and a Christmas dinner. And the turkeys may be purchased at Piggly Wiggly locations in Troy by letting the cashiers know of the desire to participate in the Turkeys from Heaven. Taylor Jenwright said refrigerated desserts are also needed. So if you would like to make some types of desserts, you and your children, this time of year, take those girls and boys and say, hey, we're going to make something and we're going to send it over to Turkeys from Heaven and let them give it out to people that are in need for this Christmas. And, of course, we won't know until Friday when the deliveries start to be delivered to the Emporium. How many we'll have, we don't know. Right now, we need and greatly appreciate dessert items. So dessert items, whether you go and buy the dessert items or you make the dessert items, make sure they get to the Emporium, the old Catholic church right there on Walnut Street, just off the square in downtown Troy. Jen Wright said the city of Troy has made arrangements for members of the police and fire departments to make deliveries. Members of the Pike County Sheriff's Department will also make deliveries. Uh-oh, Mama, there's the sheriff's coming in the house, and he's bringing something with him. And that's a great thing that they're doing this morning. The Emporium, and especially to deliver the on Saturdays, drivers will be needed to transport turkeys from the grill site to the Emporium, and especially to deliver Christmas dinners to the families throughout Pike County. So they need drivers. They need people to help with the processing of all this food. Of course, Miss Sanders, she keeps her name out of it, but let me just say this. She is one lovely person. I heard her speak at Rotary, and let me tell you, I could march to her drummer any day of the week, and she's the lady that made this happen, and gotten so many people involved in this Turkeys for Heaven, and we appreciate all Taylor Jenwright and Miss Sanders and all the volunteers that have been so good to put this together. Over 400 we know families are going to be served, but they do need your help. And if you like to go down on Saturday to the Emporium, and if you got older children that can go and volunteer and help, there'll be something for them to do, I promise you, as we get ready for this wonderful, wonderful event. Jen Wright said to the volunteer with the Turkeys from Heaven deliveries on Saturdays, need not call. So you just come, and they'll tell you where to take the turkey, and you can help in so many ways. So we need volunteers for this wonderful, wonderful program, Turkeys from Heaven, and so make sure to get down, go down early to the Emporium, because that's where it's going to all be happening, where the transport of all this food will start taking place on Saturday. So again, it is a wonderful, wonderful thing that these ladies here in Troy have put together, and men and the committees and the hundreds of volunteers. And I know Brother Barron and his crew is going to be cooking. And we got a call coming in right here. Good morning. How you doing?
So is Troy getting the rain that we're getting in Birmingham today?
Well, we're going to get it. We got it last night. Rain is in the forecast all day today. The weather tomorrow is going to be frightening. You know how the song goes. What we're saying, heavy winds and a lot colder temperatures tomorrow. But it will be clearing up on Saturday for the game. The game forecast, Mike, is in the mid 60s or low 60s, late 50s. But the weather for the game should be really good. And then the parade, you know, you want it to be cold for a parade. I'm going to carry my long handles and extra coat. Hey, parades are supposed to be with hot chocolate and cold weather. So that's going to be a huge parade from downtown Mobile starting on Friday at 6 o'clock, and it should be a lot of fun. And so come down early.
I've been to every Mobile Bowl game we played in down there. Of course, you have to. Little did we know, we played Central Michigan and went into triple overtime and got beat 44-41. Antonio Brown, the receiver for Central Michigan, will probably be a first ballot Hall of Famer that Troy went up against. That nobody even knew who he was when we played him in that game.
Exactly. If somebody that has more knowledge about turkeys from heaven will call in and speak to us. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to spread the news and about having people and labor force helping out with the disbursement of 400 and some meals. That's a lot of meals, Mike.
No, that's great.
Your good friend Taylor Jenwright, people you grew up with, and the Sanders girl that is over all of this. Man, what a wonderful gesture here at Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the season, and the time to give back. We try to, definitely this time of year, we do angel trees and stuff like that, and try to make sure we give toys and food and presents and gifts to the people that need it the most.
Well, a lot of other things happening, a lot of musicals and programs that as we get ready for Christmas, and of course I hope that you'll think about people that are in need, and people that do need our services, whether or not it's taking somebody's garbage out this holiday, or if it's something that you can do to make their weekend more pleasant. People that are in need, and we want to serve our Lord and serve our fellow men, and with love and respect during this holiday season. And again, I speak for the staff and the management of Troy Cable, Dick Freeman, Vicki McPherson, and all the leadership here at Troy Cable. One of the great cable television networks in America, no question about it.
I was with some friends last night at a party, and a lot of people in Birmingham have homes in Lake Martin. He's like, man, we're on Troy Cable, man, and he was like coming up to me and tell me how excited he was.
Does he watch our show, though? Does he watch our show?
Well, I told him to start watching it from 7 to 8:30, but then another friend came and said, yeah, they have Troy Cable at Lake Martin as well. So that's right.
Troy Cable's at Lake Martin. You're exactly right.
So all these Birmingham yuppies,
all these Birmingham yuppies, good morning to you, and Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! We'll be back in just a moment.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
Tori Dunn from Dixie Trails. You get your truck washed here?
I sure do.
Really, Dunn? I know you're not bringing them cow trucks, okay?
I do, and they're like me when I leave.
Loretta, what are you doing?
Getting my car detailed.
At Trojan Detail, we do it all.
When you are handed the key to a new Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick or GMC, rev up your imagination. Think of all the places you can go in some of the most stylish, best quality cars available on the market today. Feel confident driving vehicles with superb dependability and safety ratings. And smile, you saved a ton of money because you bought at Bill Jackson. Let the only thing holding you back be the end of the road. A Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC vehicle will not only change your life, it saves you money like nowhere else.
At Cost Plus 10%, we offer your favorite brands at the best price. At Piggly Wiggly, we keep it simple. We price our products at cost, then add 10% at checkout. We carry all your favorite name brand foods, and we accept manufacturer coupons. Find us on Facebook and see our weekly special.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing well and getting ready for a huge holiday season. And, of course, nothing is better than this time of season, especially when we think about others and care about seeing relatives and friends and doing something that will make another person's life easier. And one of those things is this Highway for Heavens program right here in Troy. And it's going to be very easy for you to get in your car Saturday morning and drive into their place of venue on Walnut Street.
Turkeys for Heaven?
Yeah, what we're doing, they're gonna.
You said Highway to Heaven. Yeah, that was.
Oh, did I say Highway to Heaven? Well, Turkeys from Heaven.
Remember that with Michael Landon?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, Turkeys from Heaven, And, of course, at the Emporium, you know where the Emporium is, the old Catholic church that's been now bought by Mrs. Sanders and her family, and to provide for venues of this type. And, of course, they still be used for, weddings and other special occasions.
I'll definitely say my wife and I talked about, we have a 2-year-old and we got a 1-year-old, but just seeing the difference in a year from our 2-year-old, how she's just so excited and talks about Christmas and talks about baby Jesus, and it's pretty special as a parent to be able to experience this for the first time.
Mike, I got a friend of mine that's got everything, and you know where I'm going today? This morning, first thing, I'm going to Whaley Christmas store at Whaley's Pecan Company, the Christmas store, and I'm gonna buy all of his gifts from there because I know he doesn't have access to these products anywhere else other than ordering them on the magazine or through the magazine. But this is a great place to shop, ladies and gentlemen, for Christmas. It's Whaley's Christmas store just off Pecan Street and just off South Brundy Street right here in Troy. Go past our buddies at the pizza place, Mike, and take the first right, Little Caesars, and take a right or left before you get to Little Caesars, and there it is, right down there on the corner on Pecan Street. A wonderful place to buy for Christmas.
All the high schools and all the college, everything closed down?
Oh, yeah, everything's closed down. I imagine they closed down in Birmingham, too, aren't they?
Yeah, the high schools are, yeah.
Yeah. Mike calling in from Birmingham, Alabama this morning. And
I'm on 280, my favorite road right now. Hopefully there won't be a road.
Well, let me just say this. I'm coming to Birmingham after the game on Sunday morning, and I'm excited about a great Christmas at your house and at Camille's house and at Rebecca's house. What do you think?
Well, we always have a lot of fun. Of course, like I mentioned before, I've got a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, and Camille's got a 4-year-old, so that always makes a lot of fun.
Mike, of course, what are some special things that you can remember at Christmas that you would share with us this morning?
Well, I guess growing up, I was always on Crow Hill. We had the bonfire,
and that's going to be on Sunday. The bonfire. I won't be there, but I'm gonna make sure they have it. You know what I mean?
So that's always a lot of fun, and then I guess just going out and seeing friends and family and going around to different people's houses. We went to Mr. Beard's house pretty much my whole life growing up, and the Campbells would be over there, and other people would come over.
They had that wonderful eggnog that you like.
Well, they also just had wonderful food.
No question about it.
It was always a lot of fun, but we'd always get in the car and ride around and see all your friends, you grew up with, and, going to different houses.
Yeah, we were talking about that recently, and of course a lot of them are not with us anymore, but boy, what a wonderful time we had. And like you said, we would on Christmas Eve, we'd go to a lot of different houses, and they would be expecting us,
Of course, it's just one of those things where I feel like just seeing friends come home and hanging out, especially, back when you got into college, and, 2 of my best friends went to Alabama, and, it was always great that when they came home for the holidays, and then, Camille went to Auburn, or, a lot of her.
Yeah, everybody would come to town, and everybody would go somewhere and gather, and
always. It's always a lot of fun to, have parties and see everybody.
Christmas Eve at Randy Brown's house for so many years was so much fun, and everybody be coming in, and then our campfires, of course, all the Michael D. and all the kids that went off to school would be coming back home, and it's just like one big homecoming.
You'd have the fire truck and Santa Claus.
That's right. Santa Claus came up on the fire truck for many years, and the problem is our neighborhood does not have a lot of young children like they used to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's all about love of Christ and love of our fellow man during this holiday season. And hey, I love you. I love you. And I think we should all show our love to each other. Hey, why not love your fellow man and do whatever you can to help make his life better if you can. And again, remember the people that maybe a small token of a fruit cake or some cookies or whatever you could take to your neighborhood and enjoy this Christmas spirit. And it's all
I mean,
about.
Like, I mean, my wife and I talk about it all the time during the holidays. You got all these, people that are working in restaurants, waiters.
Oh yeah.
People parking cars. I mean, there's just so many people that are needing cash this time of year to help, have a good Christmas, provide for their family, stuff like that. So always remember that as well.
And the bell ringing is still going on, and they need more volunteers for bell ringing. So go by their office today, Mike.
Yeah, I hate that I don't live in Troy. If I lived in Troy, I probably would ring a bell for a couple hours. I feel like that would be a good thing.
And of course, it makes you feel so good, no question about it. And ringing bells for
I tell you what, I wouldn't want to ring a bell
Army.
Today. It's pouring down raining.
But and of course, let me tell you, right now you can go to the Salvation Army and say, "Hey, I want to ring a bell," and they'll put you at a certain spot, and you can. That'd be a great way to serve your fellow man right there. And of course, there's a lot of people in need here at Christmas, and don't take anybody for granted. Hey, if somebody is showing I need money to buy toys or food or whatever, give them money for toys and food. What would Christ do, in any situation? Look at things like that. What would Christ do? Whether or not something looks good or bad, or you think somebody's trying to take advantage of a situation, what would Christ do? And I think that's a very good way to live. Of course, we appreciate our staff here at Troy Cable, Mike. Wonderful people, Scott and Joe Lynn, and of course Steve that runs the show here, and all of our employees. We appreciate them so much for providing you with a place to go every weekday morning, and hopefully be informed about what's going on in our community. And again, we want to mention Turkeys from Heaven, and you can help. You don't have to tell them you're coming. Just go down there Saturday morning and say, I want to help. I want to be of service to your program. And Ms. Sanders, you're quite a lady, and your group that you put together are quite a group that have put together a group that will provide 400 meals to less fortunate people across Pike County. From your staff and our management here, our management team, and everything, we're going to be here in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, with not only with our show, but with the Whaley Pecan Company's Bob Whaley Show. Mike, we appreciate you calling in this morning. We look forward to hearing from you tomorrow morning. Right here on our show, we'll give away a couple of turkeys also on our show tomorrow. Have a great day and Merry Christmas to all of you out there, and do something today that will be pleasing to your Lord and Savior. Have a great day.